This wonderful video is sponsored by the great people over at Naraka Bladepoint, a fantastic melee-based and hero-based battle royale game far and away from the usual shooter type. Now, I don't know about you, but walking 500 miles and then walking 500 more just to be shot by a sniper in a bush isn't as fun, and stabbing somebody is a lot more fun. Naraka has a very interesting combination of hero skills, melee weapons, and actual amounts of like reading your enemy that's important to win each and every single one of your battles. The game also has fantastic customization, a real good amount of mobility. It has a grappling hook, a good combination of hero skills and skill systems, and you've also even got a revival resurrection system that makes it a little bit less painful to deal with. The game also has a great PvE mode now called Showdown, which is really good if you need to break from the PvP and you want to try out new stuff and new skills. And there is a brand new map called Holoroth. The whole map looks really good. It feels a lot better to play in, much more interactive, and each of the kinds of battles with other players feels like it's a lot more fair, I guess is the word. So we've got melee focused battle royale, tons of customization, hero abilities, mobility, new map, PvE mode, and a great sponsor for today's video. And if you want to check out Naraka Bladepoint, I have some things for you. The game is free on Xbox Game Pass, and it has a free weekend August 18th through August 22nd. That's on Steam and the Epic Games Store, and during that same period of time, it is also 50% off on both of those platforms. So if you're interested in checking it out, go to the description, click on the link, and check out Naraka Bladepoint during the 18th through the 22nd for free. Thank you very much for sponsoring this video, and let's talk about falling beans. Hello everybody, my name is Bricky, currently attempting to push my fellow beans off a ledge and then accidentally falling myself. My hubris has come to haunt me in the most powerful ways. I'm sure you remember this game, Fall Guys. It came out August 4th, 2020, which means it's just over 2 years old, and it confirms that time is an enigma and I am elderly. But for me, possibly because it was during the pandemic, Fall Guys came and it went. It was a blast for about a month, give or take, but then I was just kind of over the game. It was a cute little game involving cute little beans, but I eventually was just tired of playing it. But for some reason, possibly because of my return back into Peggle, I wanted to play more of the funny little bean game. So off to the funny little bean game I went. And despite looking relatively the same, there have been quite a few changes. 2 years does that to a game normally, but also it's more than just the myriad brand deals it ended up having. If you're not familiar with Fall Guys or didn't grasp the concept by the footage behind me, I'll explain. Fall Guys is a multiplayer competition held in the same vein as like Takeshi's Castle in Japan or Wipeout in America. You play as these little bean people that run through various obstacle courses and mini games, eliminating players each round. These games often take the form of getting to the finish line, being the last few to survive a challenge, not dying in another challenge, and the final mini game will determine the winner. The controls are all very simple. To put it in any other way, I'd say it has mom controls. It's move with the sticks, jump with a button, dive with a button, grab with a button, and you're done. You could do some emotes and stuff, but for the actual gameplay, that's it. Yeah, it's extremely simple. And I'm sure you could understand why it could be both addicting and not so addicting. Depending on who you ask, the game can either get old really fast or consume hours upon hours of your life. I think it ended with got old fast, for me at least way back when. Some of the reasons being improved upon, and some of them not really having changed. So, new stuff. Fall Guys has added a pretty large amount of content, and no, I don't mean the enormous volumes of bean outfits, including the Venus erectus. At launch, the game was $20. Now it's free to play, with a caveat. It was purchased by Epic and is now considered an Epic exclusive. Now, I was never one of those like, Epic Games Story! That was harder than I thought it was. I never really cared much, but it's a thing to note. It was also available on the Switch, Xbox, and PS5, and it sports not only cross-play, but also cross-progression. I want to appreciate that a ton, because at the time of recording this video, most of the footage you're seeing in the background is PC Fall Guys. But the reason I wanted to make a video on this besides the PopCap thing is because I was playing it a little bit on my Xbox in my living room, and the ability to have both the recording part of it and the just playing for fun part of it count together is it's just so nice. Cross progression should be maintained in all video games nowadays, especially those that benefit from a casual play style. Back during the Black Ops 4 and MW 2019 days, I had this constant issue with buying a COD game on PC, which at the time was optimization suicide or buying it on console. One made it way easier to record footage, PC. The other was just significantly better to play. Side note, tangent, non sequitur, whatever. This is why VR is never going to be like a VR in every casual person's house kind of thing. As cool as some of the things they're making are, VR requires movement. People like to be on their couch. People like couch gaming. It's one of the reasons why video game consoles, despite being very cheap for the hardware you get, are so gosh darn useful, because you put them on a TV in a living room and it's really easy to play. Couch gaming is not going anywhere. Tangent over. Yes, cross-play and cross-progression is all at the expense of having to sign with an Epic account regardless of platform, which for me is a perfectly acceptable price to pay for such an enormous benefit, cross-play and cross-progression, and no amount of Epic Games will make me think otherwise. On top of that, they've added a slew of challenges to the game. This includes daily, weekly, and marathon challenges. Those award kudos, which is the general, I hit my microphone, I'm so sorry, thing you get to spend in the game. Those kudos can be spent on things in the item shop, sometimes on a daily or weekly rotation. You can also be awarded something called crowns and crown shards. A crown is something you get by winning a game. Simple. Earning shards, something that you can earn in other ways, including challenges. Shards are fractions of a crown, and there is an entire crown pass system that allows you to unlock new things by just getting crowns and crown shards. It sounds more complicated than it is, but it's basically just, hey, this is your being good currency, and this is your playing the game currency, which is a good segue to talk about the little season pass system. There are two main passes of progression in Fall Guys, the season pass and the crown pass, the crown one. The season pass has the usual free and paid versions, offering items like more kudos, banners, names, colors, emote skins, and so on. It also has the premium paid currency that you can use in the shop. The crown pass is only unlocked by earning crowns either in game or with the shards provided I mentioned earlier. As far as I'm concerned, there's no real way to purchase these items. This seems to be on a purely play-based path that requires you to win or grind a way to get them. The items are good too, often like a gold-plated version of an already existing skin, which immediately hits the B in my how CBT can save gaming. A reminder, the B is big dick factor, a way to show off how good you are in a video game, to show off your dedication or your skill. Think like the Inheritor rank Halo Reach with the skull helmet, like that stuff. And finally, there are all the new game modes they have added. This is by far the best improvement of the game, if you don't count the free-to-play and cross-progression. My number one biggest issue with Fall Guys was that a lot of the game's modes just felt like total and complete bullshit. I particularly point to any type of team-based game mode. Fall Ball can suck my entire ass. The one carrying the little goose eggs can eat my entire ass, and Team Tail Tag consumes my posterior post-haste. Actually, all the tail games can eat my ass, actually. There have been multiple events in the Fall Guys world. I don't know exact names of them, but I've gathered that it is basically a candy-themed one, a jungle-themed one, and a space-themed one. The candy one isn't a whole lot different than the original, but it does add some fun new concepts into the game. The jungle one is a pretty great time. The rhino game mode is genuinely horrifying, especially when there are 3 of them, and some of the other race things are pretty fun, like the big expanding frogs. They're neat. The space maps, though. Space maps. Fuck. I love their design. They are almost all fun to play. They offer great contrast to the normal maps, and the soundtrack is a pop. This is the meat and potatoes of the game, but funny enough, it's not about what Fall Guys has added, but rather what they've removed. I have played a tail game, mainly only 4 to 5 times in the entirety of my last week with this game. I never got Fall Ball or that goose game. In fact, I never got a single red, yellow, blue game in general. It seems they've all been removed completely, or they're just extremely rare. On the flip side, I'm getting way more races, survival modes, hexagon variants, that one with the fast spinning circles and the slime, and more. It does appear that they knew what the community liked and decided to just increase them and increase them alone, and I'm thankful for that. There are still a few that really clog my milkshake, like Tiptoe, the one we have to guess which wall will break, or the fruit memorization one, but they are fewer and far between. But honestly, despite all these improvements, I think what's keeping Fall Guys down a little bit is the downtime between the games, and it's kind of feast or famine mentality. When it's you and your family, maybe a little brother or your mom who wants to learn more about the video games and the Funny Bean game, it's perfect. Just enough downtime between rounds, easy to restart, funny, all that. But when you're playing it by yourself and working on it simply on your own, I can't help but feel like that there's just too much time in between rounds in the game. Because you finish a race and then you wait for everyone else to finish the race. Then you wait for the round to transition. Then maybe you get a mode you really don't like, such as tail tag. Maybe you get robbed by connection or some other reason, and then you start a new round, but who knows how long those new rounds are gonna be. Sometimes they're 4 games, 5 games, sometimes even 2 or 3 games if people just die horribly. And are they good maps? Are they good modes? Between all the waiting, it feels like you've been playing for 2 to 3 hours, when in reality, it's only been around an hour, which is the inverse for most other video games. I feel like there's a science to this. A science to how you can stretch out a person's game time and rest time. Fall Guys seems to operate like a spiky wavelength. Play, intense, break, intense, break, tail tag, break, hexagon, break. Where I look at something like, I don't know, Apex Legends, Deep Rock Galactic, it starts as this slow burn, then slowly ascends upwards in terms of difficulty and intensity, and then it finishes up, and then you get to relax and you go back to the lobby or jump ship or the bar getting drunk. I'm positive there's a science to this. There has to be a science to this. But the little bursts of intensity followed by a break end up tiring me out a lot faster than the slow building intensity of the other games, and then back to rest. Which is probably why it's better as a group when you're not taking it too seriously, which, I mean, you shouldn't. It's a game about bouncing beans. It really shouldn't be taken this seriously at all, but who am I if not the ruiner of everyone's fun? I do think they found a nice in-between though. As I mentioned, a lot of the squad games have been removed. Instead, they actually created a squad and duo style game mode. Instead of actually doing major team games, you all compete for a score. So if 4 of you group together, then it ranks you as a team versus other teams based on how you individually do. You're still playing the same game modes, and elimination style game modes, you just get points instead of eliminated or not. You as a team can do really well, not only because there's more room for failure, but also you're a squad of 4, which means that the overall amount of enemy players in total is less. They do counteract this by rewarding you only crown shards for winning, not full crowns, with an amount varying on whether or not you're doing duos or 4-man squads. But I think it's a good compromise. You can work it as a team while being separate at the same time, and you don't need to deal with any of the poor team-based games that they had way back when. I actually think this is the superior way to play the game in general. The downtime isn't as bad because you're watching your friends, you're with your friends, it's less stressful, and the rewards are still not too bad either. They also, past the team thing, have rotating game modes. There's like the Sonic the Hedgehog one while I was recording, which you know, that's a good segue. Holy shit! You can be Dr. Eggman. You can be Knuckles. The collabs in this game, I mean, it's not Fortnite levels, but it's pretty gosh darn ridiculous. Between the Doom stuff, Master Chief, Among Us, and I'm still so mad I missed out on the 2 Bean skin. God damn it. Though it's a really good way to get more people into this game. This season right now is their first major one. The first major battle pass, first major all that stuff. If anything, the game's UI could use a lot of work. You could really do with some sliders, less overall clutter in the main menu, and a few drop downs instead of just showing it all off. And you also, this is such a small nitpick. This is the nitpickiest nitpick out there, but you can't skip down large chunks when looking at the season pass. Like normally you press the bumper or something and you skip over 10. No, if you want to see what's at the end of the pass, you just have to hold the stick the whole time, all the way to the end. Did you forget like a chunk slider? That's like UI 101. Come on now. I know it's a nitpick, but what? That aside, Fall Guys feels like it's in a weird spot. Like it almost got too big for its beans, and it's playing a bit of catch up. The game is still really fun in short bursts. In addition to challenges and all the other insane volume of cosmetics you can get, it gets a lot more replayability than before. The removal of bad games and the addition of newer ones is also interesting and adds a lot to it. It could just be the flow for me though, or it could just be the formula of the game itself that's holding it back from its true potential, or it could be the fact that it's a simple game, and a simple game should be simple, and it shouldn't be keeping your attention for super long because it's a simple bean game about simple beans. I like my simple games. Look at my last one about Peggle. I mean, come on, but there's something missing, and I don't know what it is. I bet that someone far smarter than me can make a video talking about how the flow state of Fall Guys is what makes it seem like it takes so long when it doesn't, or the way to maintain the crap I don't understand. Or the answer is just, it's simple bean game, who gives a shit, Bricky. And you know what? Yeah, I know. But I make videos about this stuff for a reason. It can be as simple as it wants. It doesn't mean I'm not gonna dissect it. poorly. If you put it down a while ago, I'd treat it a lot like Peggle, a game where you can pick up and kill an hour with, maybe a few hours if you're utilizing the squad mode. It's free to play, so if you're looking to kill some time, hop into it, do your guy falling, do your gravity beans, and let me know what you think. Opinions might be varying, and I am more than interested in hearing about them because I could certainly be looking too much into this, but who knows? I feel like I would like this more than I do, but I don't. So that's kind of where I'm confused. Regardless, you let me know, you tell me if anyone has any insight. I'd love to hear it. And thank you very much for watching this video. Got a quick question here before we round it all out. Besides Warhammer, has any other tabletop board game caught your eye? One I recommend is Sigil Confluence. It's a lot of fun with a group of friends. Haven't heard of that one, but I know we played Scythe a bit ago that I thought was really fun. I really enjoyed Scythe. And you know what's kind of crazy? Monopoly is really enjoyable. When you're an adult again and you have the hours to kill and you want to play a full game of Monopoly, it is some brutal shit. I know it's not the same thing as a tabletop RPG or anything, but it is some brutal shit. I'd recommend hopping onto that with some of your friends if you have some hours to kill, because it actually holds up better than I ever thought it would. Sorry for the video so quick after the last one. The last one got delayed. This one is on time. So we'll have another one this month on a old Call of Duty system that I think should make a return. And after that, we'll probably get back into our usual game reviews. This month was kind of a quiet month after all of the Uncharted stuff, because that took a lot out of me. Thanks for all your support. Thank you all my patrons and stuff, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.
Come on.